You call it a bad spell? A curse?
Well, mostly it's synchronicity. I mean, we don't know anything about the motives of these people. I mean, like, you know, how they came to the conclusion that your dog was like the reincarnation of this woman's husband or whatever. I've got no idea about that. But the other stuff, the fact that all of these strange things happened in a short period, sounds very much like synchronicity.
What about bad luck? Does that come into the picture at all?
Yeah, bad luck is because, you know, luck can be both good and bad. And as I say, I know everybody talks about the power of positive thinking and stuff, but it's possible to influence the synchronicities you experience, but you've got no control over whether it's going to be good or bad.
Next up, let's go to Turtle. Chuck driving in Florida. Welcome to the show. Turtle, good to have you back.
Hey, how you doing? I'm really enjoying the show, and in the past week or so, you know, with spirit guides, etc., throughout the scene.
Yeah.
It's great. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
I get called a wizard, a shaman, a witch, whatever. I'm 60 years old. I've been practicing this stuff for the majority of my adult life, and I was a friend of Ella, and I knew her, and she was a mentor of mine.
Paglini?
And Paglini, yes. And let me see if I can answer your question. You asked the question, what is the definition of magic? Let's use water as an example, okay?
All right.
And we'll use a balloon as the membrane, okay? And everything is energy. And you know this, George. Everything is energy, right? We are energy beings.
Of course.
All right? So we are manipulating energy to push on that balloon as if it was a solid, like water, and venting it. Like he was talking about the ripples when you throw the rock in the water, right? It spears out. And I could talk to you for days about stuff that I've done. And yes, I've done all of it. Curses, the works. I've done every aspect of the craft that can be done.
And they've all worked for you, I bet, haven't they?
Yes. Necromancy, everything. Now, I do believe it's genetic, all right, because it goes back in my family. If you knew what my last name was, if you associated it to the origins of, like, a Smith was a Smithy, right? My last name is basically a name that associates with vision, seeing,
okay,
right, knowing, right, and it goes back in my family. And I have to say, your guest is awesome. He knows, he's really smart, he knows all of this stuff. It's in his head. I just wish I could guide him in his vocabulary and his, his explanation to clarify. Because this is an awesome interview. It's really great. But I could tell you stories where I've been mad. I'm a truck driver. Got burned and sitting on a curb for 34 hours in front of a meat plant.
Oh, my God.
Right? And then get mad. And 2 miles away, another company driver abandoned his truck because he went and did drugs and got so stoned he couldn't get back to his truck. And what happens? I go pick up and rescue that load going exactly where I wanted to go originally.
Yeah, you saved it indeed, indeed. Well, Robert, he's basically telling us that magic covers every spectrum. Would you agree?
Well, as I say, since it's a property of the way we interact with the universe, then yeah, it can cover almost anything that can happen.
We're taking calls this half hour with Robert Renzi. His website is his name, linked up at coasttocoastam.com for you. And does it take you long to get into the mode? Do you have to really set your mind, to get into this state?
Well, as I say, it depends. I mean, you can do it fairly quickly and easily, because the thing is, right, is that magic requires a belief system. But the trick is that it doesn't matter what that belief system is. The simplest belief system is you believe that you are actually a successful magician. That's the simplest one. If you can really believe in that, then that will be a sufficient belief system. But if you just, there are certain magical techniques that if you just follow them, then they should work for you.
You had mentioned Aleister Crowley in the beginning of the program.
Yeah.
How did people react to him when he was alive?
Oh, well, so, the thing is, right, is that one of the things about Crowley was that he was a total drama queen. He loved to get reactions out of people. Part of that is because he grew up in a very strict religious family,
right.
And he spent a lot of time. After kind of working out the anger he had against his family.
Was he evil?
No, he did some evil things, but I think of himself he was just completely amoral.
Interesting.
Joe in Monterey, California. Hi, Joseph. Go ahead.
Okay. I hope I don't disappear. There's all different kinds of magic, as your guest knows, and one of which is called high magic, which is not using any tools but the mind. And there are also people who manifest things, have things come about, an event. They would forge it in their mind, and it would happen. And I did one, I guess it's impressive. I was invited to be on a radio show, and to talk about my artwork, and I tried to manifest people buying my artwork, and I visualized myself on the show, and a lot of people listening, and I set that into motion. And I didn't sell any artwork, but I got on the show for 9 years, so I manifested the show. So what I'm trying to say is, you need to be very specific, because the elements will take form and move in a certain direction. And if you're not specific, it might go in a direction that your subconscious or some part of you, there's that desire, might have influence. Thank you, George, for taking my call.
Oh, it's a little like our intention experiments, where you really do need to be specific about things. And as you were saying earlier, Robert, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you have to be very, as I say, you have to express, because the classic example I always give is that if you say, for example, I want to be a great actor, then your desire is already fulfilled. You already want to be a great actor. If, for example, you say, I will be a great actor, that is a much better desire.
Victoria's with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Victoria, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So I have to tell this story about, I was in Florida with my young daughter, and we were alone, and I had a friend who told me I needed money, okay? And my friend told me to do a visualization with her of a check for a certain amount of money 3 times, and we did it. Okay, so after doing that, over a course of 3 days, I was taking my daughter to a daycare center, and it was like 3 weeks later or so. I got in the car to get her, and I felt strange, and some kind of huge, bigger knee took over my car, and I picked up my daughter, and I felt this way all that way, and I got to a certain intersection and went through it and got hit by another car. Well, they totaled my car, and within a week or so I got the amount, and I visualized $1,000 from the insurance. But, then my ended up with a nosebleed, and I'm okay, and my daughter was okay, but that is just totally scary to think about the power of that.
What causes something like that, Robert?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You do a magical act, but you have no control over how that magical act gets fulfilled. You wish for money, but you didn't specify how you were going to get the money. And unfortunately, you can end up getting what you've told me just then is almost exactly like there's a story called The Monkey's Paw, which is about a guy who he gets a magical totem, he wishes for money, and he gets the money because his son falls into the machinery, and the factory owner gives him the money to hush him up.
Yeah, he got it with consequences, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was an old Twilight. Do you remember a television show in the United States called The Twilight Zone?
Oh, we got it over here too.
And there was a guy, there was an episode once where a guy wanted a number of wishes. And the genie said, you get them, but each one is a consequence. And he didn't think anything of it. So he wished for power. And the genie turned him into Hitler. And it was just, everything had a consequence to it. It was strange. But stay with us, Robert. We're going to come back and take some more phone calls with you. Share your stories with us, folks, about how you use magic or how it affected you when we come back.
Find out more about tonight's guest. Log on to coasttocoastam.com.
You guys every day.
For all you people who think you don't learn something from this show every day,
You're wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. Gary and Shannon, weekdays at 10 a.m. on KFI.
You were lied to when buying a timeshare and wore out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since. So no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-8338. 800-885-8338. 800-885-8338.
If you own a business and manage to keep 5 or more people on payroll, a new government program will pay you up to $33,000 per employee. $33,000. This isn't a loan, it's a grant, it's free money. The challenge? Getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler. That's exactly why I founded InnovationRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. At InnovationRefunds.com, our tax attorneys and CPAs are experts at helping businesses like yours to get their share of these government funds. InnovationRefunds.com does all the legwork and doesn't charge you a penny until you receive the money. Our team has helped over 6,000 businesses to get some $450 million. And InnovationRefunds.com can get your business up to $33,000 per employee. Just go to InnovationRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, answer a few questions. No risk, high rewards. InnovationRefunds.com.
If you missed it, we got it.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County.
Happy Friday. You made it through the week. It's time for your morning wake-up call. Here's Michael Crozier.
That was beautiful. Flawless editing. That's a production man right there. Thank you, Tyler. It's the wake-up call for Friday, September 17th, 2021. It's been so long since I've used this template in here that I use to kind of keep everything organized that it says Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. So, this is going to be fun this morning. I'm Michael Crozier, filling in for Jennifer Jones-Lee. She's out for another couple more days. I think she's off Monday. Hopefully be back by Tuesday. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. So Jennifer is expected to be back on Sunday. She's flying back in town. She's been out of town for a couple days. And she's coming back Sunday. Why? Specifically because she's got this wiggle waggle walk, which you know you've heard about endlessly for good reason. The Wiggle Waggle Walk taking place in Pasadena this coming Sunday. The Pasadena Humane Society's walk. It's a team filled with you awesome listeners, you. They're kind of doing what they've done before, but this year, Alex told me this morning that her and Michelle got the dubious distinction of having to show up super early to set up because we've got our own booth this year. So if you're going by there on Sunday morning, check out the KFI booth, and you might see Alex, you might see Michelle, and of course you'll probably see Jennifer. I think all of them have dogs. I'm not sure about Alex. But I was talking to Tim Conway Jr. Early this week about this Wiggle Waggle Walk, and actually had Jennifer on last week to talk about it. And Tim had said, "Hey, Crozier, you got a dog?" And I said, "Barely, because my dog is he's a little sad right now. He's a golden lab, and Chewy is his name. And he's not really my dog. He's my daughter's dog. And my ex, her mother, had gotten the dog, but eventually, about 2 years ago, I got the dog full-time, and he's 15, 16 years old at this point, and the last couple months have been that last stages of, poor Chewy, because the eyes are gone for the most part now, and his ears are gone, so you can't call him, or if you call him, he literally starts walking the other way, thinking you're on the other side of the room, and it's a pretty sad thing, but and my girlfriend Jen and I have talked about, do we get another dog afterwards? I don't know. We're probably going to wait a while because, I think after you have an animal, and at some point, I think in the next couple of weeks, I might have to end up giving him some more relief, or the ultimate relief, unfortunately, because he's just kind of at that stage. I'm looking for signs of pain and misery and all that stuff. So, anyways, not to bring you down or anything like that, because this is a good thing that's coming up Sunday. The Wiggle Waggle Walk is happening at the Brookside Park and at the Rose Bowl. You can join our team. You can click on KFI AM 640 and keyword Wake Up Call. Just go there and find out more information. Hopefully, we'll see you there. Sorry, I won't be there. I'll probably be sleeping. Here's some of the stories we're following in the KFI 24-hour newsroom, and what's up for your wake-up call. Orange County has kicked off its first mobile response team for mental health crises in Huntington Beach. An LA County Sheriff's deputy's been killed in a high-speed crash while driving a vintage Shelby Cobra in Temple City. And the director of Covered California, Peter Lee's his name, he says he's going to step down early next year. He's been in that role there since the program's inception 9 years ago. 5:05, just about a minute or so, we're going to talk to ABC's Henry Petersky on an independent FDA panel today debating the debate that came out earlier this week on the COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine. At 5:20, we're going to talk to Jim Ryan about from ABC News, talking about a rise again in online scams and what you need to look out for. 5:35, we're going to go to ABC's Tom Rivers on more intentional effort to curb China and its expansion. And then at 6:05, it's the early edition of Handle on the News. Handle's back at 8:30, but Wayne Resnick's going to be here at 6 for the early HON. Let's go ahead and check some traffic with Nick Poliocchini. There's an early problem on Ontario. They're wrapping up the road work, right?
That's right, Crow. It's definitely going to be busy for you, though, on the eastbound side of the 60. With overnight Caltrans crews working in the lanes for the drive from, looks like about Grove as you make way toward Archibald. It was the two left lanes shut down. Still pretty heavy for you, surprisingly, coming away from Euclid as you make way toward about Vineyard. And looking at your alternate, the 10 West San Bernardino Freeway, or 10 East and West San Bernardino Freeway. It's another Caltrans project close to the 15 wrapping up. That's causing you some delays eastbound 10 as you come away from the 15th, heading toward about Etiwanda and the westbound side of the 10. It'll be a bit messy for you from Cherry as you make your way back toward the 15. Got an update of something slowing you down, pound 250 on your cell phone. Keyword is KFI traffic. Looking pretty decent so far for your drive getting through Corona, westbound side of the 91. Nothing too crazy off the 15 as you head toward the 241 toll road. KFI in the sky helps get to there faster. I'm Nick Poliocchini.
Yeah, good old Nick. That's old school right there. We go back.
Right.
All right, let's head out to, we got Aaron Katursky from ABC News. Good morning, Aaron. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Michael. Good morning.
So what do we have to look forward to today from the FDA?
Well, I don't know that it's going to be the most scintillating of discussions, but you're going to get a real scientific analysis about the necessity and efficacy of COVID-19 booster shots. We know the Biden administration's already preparing to roll them out at the end of the month, but the FDA advisory panel is still going to make a recommendation as to whether they're even needed at this stage. And there's real split. Some scientists say, yes, they are needed, especially for people whose immune systems may be compromised, for the elderly, for those who are otherwise vulnerable to COVID-19. But for the rest of us who may be relatively healthy, the vaccines that we got initially are holding up really well against severe disease, even as the Delta variant circulates. So you're not going to get sick, but you're not going to get severely sick and go to the hospital or die as a result. Obviously, there'll be some exceptions, but by and large, some scientists say a booster for all campaign just isn't necessary right now.
Which kind of throws off the White House a little bit because they've been trying to push that everybody should be taking a booster as soon as it's available, right?
Well, they said, 8 months after your initial round of inoculation. So they've kind of muddied the waters a bit and kind of made a political consideration as opposed to a scientific consideration. But we'll see what the FDA advisory panel says. Everyone knows that protection is going to wane over time, that the shots aren't going to last forever. The question is, when does the country start to mount a booster for all kind of campaign? And that's beyond science. There's the real question of whether it's responsible, given how many countries don't even have their first shots yet, whether the U.S. should be using its supply for third shots for a number of Americans, or whether they should be giving away some of those doses. So there's a number of considerations, and the FDA panel may weigh in on all of them.
And I had heard, I believe earlier this week, I had also heard that officials for Moderna had also said that they had noticed about a year later with the people that were initially, I guess, testing out their vaccine for Moderna, that they've noticed that, as you said, the efficacy started to die down a little bit. What exactly should we expect, or if anything really is just kind of glad-handing, just kind of going over the data today? Should we expect anything out of this little panel that they're doing today?
Well, they could vote to make a recommendation to the FDA as to whether they think boosters are needed. Now, the FDA is not bound by this decision, but this is the outside panel of experts, that is immune from political considerations and can really debate whether the data is suggestive of a booster for all campaign, or whether it should be selective, whether it should be boosters only if you're immunocompromised or what have you. So I think it's going to be, a real substantive debate. But there's a couple of different questions. If the standard is vaccines against severe disease, well, then it seems like they're holding up well. 95% effective still against severe disease, even 8 months later. If the question is mild disease, well, then they're a little less effective, about 80% from, just getting a little bit sick. And so it depends on what kind of protection you're looking for.
So, and if they come out of this today and they do not give some sort of recommendation that we should get it, if they're just kind of playing that middle road where it's, well, the shot is safe, but we're not necessarily recommending it, do you see any sign that the White House is still going to sort of give that push for the booster coming up? Are they going to kind of hold back, or any sort of indication on that?
Now, see, that's a good question. And yesterday at the White House podium, Jen Psaki, the spokeswoman, said that they're still committed to following the science. So they're preparing for an end-of-the-month rollout, but they're not necessarily bound to it. But that's going to be a little confusing for Americans, I think, to sort of stay ahead of where the science is. So I'm not sure whether they'll prepare to stick to it, or whether they may modify and say, okay, boosters for just the immunocompromised, or what. But the concern is that the politics is going to muddy the science, and they, obviously the preference among experts is to have the science prevail.
So confusion in politics involved in the whole pandemic. Wow, that's new, isn't it? No.
It's unusual, isn't it? So basically this morning I have no news.
Right, and by this afternoon we still may have no news.
No news. Yeah.
Thanks, Eric Katursky from ABC News. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Michael. Thank you.
All right, let's get back to some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. LA County Health Director here locally, Barbara Ferrer, says she hopes people are going to follow the rules of the new COVID-19 proof of vaccination requirement and not try to figure out ways around it.
Many people understand if you're going to these settings, you protect yourself and others if you're fully vaccinated, and when you violate that by, falsifying documentation, you create a lot of risk.
Ferrer says the vaccination mandate is based on science. It shows bars, nightclubs, and other places where people use the list of places that she talked about earlier this week, basically any place that serves alcohol, and other places where people are crammed together spread COVID more easily. When you're inside, obviously the mandate is expected to be issued at some point today. We'll get it to you as soon as it does. LA City firefighters are now suing the LA City Council over the vaccination mandate for all city employees. An attorney for them says the mandate violates their right to privacy. LA City firefighter John Knox tells KTLA5 he knows not everyone will be on their side.
You go from everyone thanking you one day for doing your job and coming and helping them in their time of need throughout this pandemic to where now all of a sudden you're a villain.
City Council approved the mandate last month. Last Saturday, some LAPD officers filed a lawsuit against the city over it. We heard about that, just about 6 LAPD officers. Now the firefighters are joining the suit. Huntington Beach has a new crisis team to take over the more than 15,000 mental health calls that first responders usually handle each year.
The Blue Vans have 2 crisis counselors and represent the first partnership for a city with the county's Be Well OC mental health system. Huntington Beach Mayor Kim Carr says during a 30-day pilot program, one team responded to more than 330 calls.
That's 330 times our police officers were freed up to take care of other public safety issues. And that was 330 residents that had their mental health needs addressed.
She says the team handles family disputes, suicide prevention, substance abuse, homelessness, and other non-criminal calls. At the Huntington Beach Civic Center, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
And some small businesses in California are dealing with money problems because of the pandemic.
Facebook's Global State of Small Business report has found that 31% of small businesses in California expect a cash flow issue, an increase from February to July. Facebook's Laura McGorman says this points to an uneven pandemic recovery.
For many businesses, they're thriving if they're operating in a completely digital environment.
The survey has found that more than half of small businesses in California get at least 25% of sales from a digital presence. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Jim Ryan from ABC and some new online scams. They took a little bit of a break there for a little bit, but now they're on the rise again, and you need to be really careful what you're looking at. It's online, especially if you're dating straight or gay. That and more on the wake-up call. It's KFI AM 640. It's Michael Crozier filling in for Jennifer Jones-Lee, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's take a quick look at some traffic again. Nick's going to tell us about. Hey, man, it's been a long time. Give me a break here.
Dude, Crozier, you're doing fine. I mean, it's been since December of last year. I totally get it, brother. You're good. You're golden. Everything, shake off that, sleep and everything else, and you'll be good. There you go, brother.
Thank you, my brother. All right, things are slow in Ontario. Tell us what's up.
That's the case on the westbound side of the 10 before the 15, right around Etiwanda, actually. It was a crash that started on the eastbound side of the freeway, and it moved its way through the center divider to the westbound side. All lanes have reopened, although there's quite a bit of activity still happening on the eastbound side of the 10 as you're making your way toward Etiwanda. So westbound 10 going to be heavy for you from before Etiwanda, seeing delays almost as far back as Cherry, heading toward the 15, and eastbound side of the 10 going to be still going for you off the 15 as you make your way toward Etiwanda. The good news is the 60 is looking better this go-round as an alternate for you east and westbound, especially around the 15, although you will still see a few delays as you're getting out of the Chino area heading into Ontario. Eastbound 60 due to Caltrans crews wrapping up shop from Euclid as you make your way toward Grove. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Poliokini.
Someone uses your toilet and it overflows. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is for your guests and for you? Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero Plumbing. You're hosting a party, the water is on the floor, and your guest has to tell you that the toilet is backed up. And worst of all, you have to tell your guests that they can't use the bathroom. I shudder when I tell this story because it happened to me. Can you imagine? I own Rooter Hero Plumbing and my toilet overflowed. Talk about being humbled. Well, the truth is, it could happen to anyone. And the solution is to call 866-DRAIN-77. That's what I did, and our plumber was here within the hour. Not because I'm the owner, but that's just what we do. I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I put my cell phone number on every business card. 866 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77.
Everybody needs a hero. Water hero.com.
Yeah, 102-8886.
This report is sponsored by Mercury Insurance. 9 out of 10 Mercury Insurance customers renew each year. That means Mercury is pretty good at what they do, like saving you money and providing stellar customer service. Get a quote today at mercuryinsurance.com. Mercury Insurance. Smart insurance for smart people.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by DuckDuckGo.
Fresh off a sweep of Arizona, the Dodgers start a series against Cincinnati today. The Angels are back home to host Oakland after beating the White Sox. The Los Angeles Sparks took care of the dream Thursday. Brittany Sykes scored a team-high 17 points. Their playoff hopes are hanging on by a thread. And Washington won one heck of a close match against the Giants Thursday night. Taylor Heineke threw for 336 yards and 2 touchdowns in a one-point win. I'm Missy Jordan.
What is it that makes you uniquely you? Well, DuckDuckGo doesn't think that's any of their business. And frankly, it shouldn't be the business of any tech company. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. At Ralph, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we'd want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Ralph, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with cards. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Spectrum Business called their competitors to see if any of them could beat Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. Here are real quotes from the competition.
How are they pulling in no fees and taxes? That's madness.
I would 100% go with Spectrum.
Even the competition recommends Spectrum Business. Call 855-339-5344 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
Competitor quotes from actual phone conversations. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Rick Edelman, award-winning radio host and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his radio show. Let's hear his advice on annuities.
Hey, Rick, I'm looking for a good investment. Should I consider a fixed annuity?
Well, fixed annuities aren't really investments. They're insurance products. You'll get a fixed rate of return from them, but it might not be enough to offset taxes and inflation. Most annuity contracts require you to keep the money there for 5 to 10 years, and if you're under age 59 and a half, any withdrawals are subject to a 10% IRS penalty. You should talk, therefore, to a fee-based financial advisor to see if an annuity is right for you, not someone who makes a living earning commissions selling annuities. You want a fiduciary who puts your best interests first.
If you're looking for a trusted partner who's got your back, talk to one of our experienced financial planners by calling 888-PLAN-RICK or visit rickedelman.com.
Tired of managing multiple vendors to protect your business? With a complete range of commercial fire and security solutions, Bay Alarm can protect it all with just one call. Go to bayalarm.com to get protected today.
ACO 28CCL880138.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
9/11, 2 decades later, is a limited series podcast that looks back 20 years since the attacks of 9/11 and features those who were in the inner sanctum of our country's government.
I mean, it felt like the end of the world, to be honest with you.
And we ask the question, are we safer today than 20 years ago?
I don't think so. I wish I could answer differently, but I don't think so. I think those in charge these days need to spend more time communicating.
Listen to 9/11, 2 decades later on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Paperboy,
Paperboy was fantastic.
Yes, I remember that.
You got money for breaking the windows of the haunted houses.
Yes.
Couldn't break the windows of the good houses. And if you hit the door with the newspaper, you got extra points.
Gary and Shannon, weekdays at 10 a.m.
I would hit cars like nobody's business.
Smack the car.
Run straight into the thing.
On KFI.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Call, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Michael Crozier, in for JJ Lee. Here's some of the stories we're covering from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Brian's in right now. Officials in Riverside and San Bernardino County say they're going to stick with the state COVID guideline and not follow LA County's new stricter measures. Public health officials in Idaho have expanded healthcare rationing across the state because of high numbers of COVID-19 patients there in hospitals. And health officials say the state of Florida has passed up 50,000 coronavirus deaths since the pandemic began. 5:35, we're going to talk to Tom Rivers and maybe see about some pushback against China, some more pushback from other countries other than the U.S. It's 6:05. Handle on the news. Wayne Resnick in for Bill. But Handle will be back again at 8:30. So hang on to that. 5:22 right now on your wake-up call. Let's say good morning to Jim Ryan from ABC News. What's going on, Jim?
Hey, Michael, yeah, the FBI is out with what's become really an annual warning. Watch out for romance scams, for confidence scams, same kind of thing. This sort of fraud seems to be growing. $113 million so far this year has been lost. That's a bare minimum, I suspect, Michael, because this crime often goes unreported. Somebody who perhaps is involved in a relationship with somebody, they're actually out dabbling on a dating app, they fall into a romance with somebody, end up losing some money, and chances are they're not going to report that. It's also simply the embarrassment factor that is keeping people from reporting being victimized like this.
So there's phishing, there's cash phishing, and then there's the hacking of locking up your hardware drive. This is just another way of blackmailing people to just get more of their money. How much money are we talking about here since the beginning of the year?
It's $113 million. But again, that's a really low estimate. It could be double that, maybe even triple that. But since 2019, the Internet Crime Report published by the FBI says that Americans lost something like $1 billion altogether. $475 million in 2019, $600 million last year in 2020. So it's likely that this number will continue to grow throughout this year. Will we see a record? Probably.
So is the FBI saying anything like very specific that we should be? I mean, obviously, aside from people like wanting money from you, or asking money from you, is there anything really particular that we should be looking out for that's a real big red flag?
Well, yeah, and in fact, now it seems that a lot of these scammers are taking a new approach instead of just going on to a dating app or going on to Facebook or social media and getting into a romance with somebody, a fake romance with somebody. They're now building that romance toward a different end. So once they build the confidence of that person, they feel that they're trusted, then the person might say, you know what, by the way, I'm an investment specialist, and I've got a great tip on cryptocurrency. If you want to invest some money, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll invest it for you. They may then send back some small return to entice that person to invest more. So what began as a romance scam grows into an investment scam. And there have been a lot of cases like this. The FBI says, Michael, that this is kind of a growing trend now.
We go from phone scams, where it's a lot of the same thing, but that, I mean, at least on the face of it, seems much easier to get out of because it's a much shorter period of time that these guys, these scammers, whoever they are investing in you to try to get you to buy who they are,